And I'm going to invoke the announcer from Hacksaw once again, just to test the voice on Twitch and see if we have sound. And we do. We do have sound. All right. And Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have Joe J. Thomas on the show today.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
And we
also
have
Two Sleeps.
Two Sleeps,
Hey.
Mike Bolly. Welcome.
What's up? Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to episode 749 of the Funny Music Podcast for October 24th, 2024. Title of this week's episode is Whimsical Competition, and your job is to work that into our conversations somehow. And for those of you wondering what happened to episode 901 of Manic Mondays, we just figured it out. I'll fix it later. So let's do a quick catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So Luke, what you been up to?
Well, I went to see the Joker sequel, Folie à Deux. I think that's how that's pronounced. And I liked it, but keep in mind that it's almost kind of like, you know, hey, what does Luke like? Well, Luke likes musicals, and Luke's like superhero stuff, and he likes the Joker and Harley Quinn. Let's make a movie like that. So, it's hard for me. So it's hard for me to say whether or not it's a good movie or a bad movie because it's kind of tailor made to be something Luke likes. The best way I can put it is, like the character of Arthur Fleck, who is this universe's version of the Joker. Like, if you really care about that character a lot, like as a person, and I mean like as a person, like beyond all of the like, I think that's funny and I'm tired of pretending that it's not, man, like edgelordy stuff. Like if you care about that actual character, then you'll probably like this movie. But if you're just there to be an edgelord and be like, why isn't he robbing banks and saying pithy things about society and how everyone's a poser or whatever, it's like, if that's what you're going for, you're not going to get it. And yeah, I thought it was entertaining as heck. So that's my take on the whole thing.
Cool.
And what else? I went in the past week. I have gone to two different kind of premiere advanced screenings of science fiction comedy animation things. So the first was on Saturday the 19th. I got to be one of a whole audience full of people who were lucky enough to get tickets to see the North American premiere screening of The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie starring Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. And holy crap, that movie is so hilarious. And as what I was suspecting is true. Part of the reason they let it be a part of this film festival, and I'm assuming there might be other screenings between now and the end of 2024, is that they want it to be, in contention for Best Animated Feature of 2024 when the Oscars come in early 2025.
Yeah.
And then the movie gets released, I think, February 28th of 2025 nationwide.
Okay.
So it's like, because like, at least as far as I'm looking at it, like it's got a chance. I mean, it's like think about like all of. I mean, if we can just get them to watch it, if we can get the people in the Academy to actually watch it, many of whom are like older boomer age people, it's like, oh, there's Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, looking like they did in the 40s and 50s and all the cartoons I grew up with, doing Looney Tunes shenanigans. It's like. Yeah, I mean, it's like maybe for once it'll win out against, all of the typical CG animated stuff, not that I have, anyway. It's like all these cartoons and, competing against each other. It's just kind of a whimsical competition, don't you think? I mean, for all of them going for this Oscar.
Very good.
So there's that. But yeah, Eric Bauza was there, my friend who did voices on Magiswords, before he blew up and became super huge. Because he plays both Porky and Daffy in this movie.
Oh, wow.
Candy Milo's another friend of mine who was in it.
Wait, Bowser's doing Porky now too? Not Bergen?
Bowser does Bowser can literally do all the Looney Tunes.
Okay.
For the big batch of Looney Tunes cartoons, he did Bugs, Daffy, Tweety, and Marvin the Martian, and they had some others do some of the other characters.
Wow.
But he was Porky Pig in he was Daffy and Porky in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yeah. I heard about that. I heard about that from Bob, because he said they wanted him to rap in that one, and Bob doesn't rap, and he's like, okay, bring Eric in, and we'll do that.
And that was exactly the reason I suspected why they brought Eric in, was because they had that part where, the rap battle part where Porky does 12 bars of hip hop, and frankly he nailed it. So, but anyway, the way Warner Brothers works is they like to have multiple people who can do the characters, so that they aren't ever going to have a stranglehold from anyone saying well, I'm the voice of blah blah blah, so you have to do it's no, there's 5 different people who can do any of these. It's when it comes to even just Bugs, it's you got Eric Bauza, Billy West, and now I'm forgetting a bunch of them, but I know that there's multiple Bugs Bunnies out there. Anyway, but yeah, it was nice to basically briefly say hi to him, and it was so funny because they had all these reserved reserved seats for, I'm sure, media people, and I'm sure this any celebrities or Warner Brothers bigwigs were all down in front, and me and Kalani and Tony Goldmark and Kit and a couple other friends were in the first row of where the audience could properly get in, because we got in, and then when Eric Bauza comes and sit down, he goes up above us and sits right in the middle, he wants to be in with all the people so that he can hear the full-throated laughter of everyone as they're cracking up at all of the voice work he's doing. So I just love Eric. He's such a man of the people. So anyway, the other one I went to was I should at least throw in a mention in there. I did see the movie The Wild Robot, the DreamWorks film. It's good. I mean, I kind of have I feel like it's a deliberately Oscar baity film, and so for me, I'm just kind of all right, guys, whatever, but I cannot honestly say it's a bad movie. I just kind of feel like they were specifically going for that type of thing. Anyway, and then last night I went to see the premiere showing of the first 2 episodes of season 5 of Star Trek Lower Decks, which was done at the Newport Beach Film Festival. And Kalani came with me, and after the 2 episodes were shown on the big movie screen, they had the creator of the show, Mike McMahon, there, along with the voice actors Eugene Cordero, who was Rutherford, Noel Wells, who is Tendi, and Jerry O'Connell, who is Captain Ransom. So it was an awesome Q&A. They didn't take any questions from the audience, which I was kind of bummed out about, because I wanted to use that as an opportunity to, draw some attention to myself in a way that would be, somewhat more acceptable. Because I did have some legitimate questions to ask about the series, so it wasn't all about me. But anyway, that didn't happen. And then after the show, the voice actors kind of fairly quickly skedaddled up the aisles and went out and gotten the big. It wasn't a stretch limo or anything. It was just kind of a bigger pickup truck that was a little bit longer, which I'm assuming they kind of ducked in there. But Mike McMahon kind of took his time saying hi to everybody coming up, and so I had prepped all this stuff, and Kalani, by the way, she was treating this like we were going to the Oscars. She was like, we have to look our absolute finest best for this, because, she's like, well, if you're going to end up meeting this person, you need to look like a professional. You need to look like a, whatever. And it's I know that there's going to at least 10%, if not more, of the audience is going to be dressed in, cosplay for this event. So it's, I don't know. I just went along with it mostly to make her happy. I mean, I would have dressed up nice, but she was super concerned about it. She even basically, anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. So the point is, I was trying to say hi to Mike McMahon, and he had actually responded to a tweet I did the night before when I was complaining about me not getting the Lower Decks jacket I ordered over 12 weeks ago when I went to Comic-Con because I would have wanted to wear it tonight. And he responded to that tweet. I didn't even tag him in it. He responded to that tweet saying, "You'll have fun without the jacket." And then I responded to that tweet by saying, like, "Hey, Mike McMahon, have you seen my tribute song / video, Lower Decks Keep It Moving?" Blah, 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 like hoping that he would notice it. And that was the day before. So I went to try to talk to him and just say, like, "Hey, I'm the guy you tweeted about the jacket. They emailed me today saying it's been shipped." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, and I said, "Hey, I was wondering if you noticed my reply to your tweet. I sent you a link to a song I did, a tribute song to Lower Decks." And he's like, "Oh, I'll have to get that out." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And it would be cool if I gave you a business card? He's like, "Yeah, sure." And he took it. So it's a business card for me as a storyboarder. And the quick side note of that was, I was so busy preparing like clothes and other things that Kalani wanted me to that I forgot to bring business cards with me. And I didn't realize it until I got to Kalani's apartment. So while she was getting ready, I, looked up, is there a Staples near the theater? And there actually was. So I looked up the last time I ordered business cards through Staples, and I, reordered a box of or a set of 500 of them to that Staples. And basically, and it was supposed to be for next day, and I called them saying, "Hi, I just placed an order for next day. Is there any way you could make like 10 or 20 of them tonight so that I could pick them up right now? Because I'm in a weird emergency situation. Would that be something you'd be willing to do?" And after waiting on hold for a while and asking them that, somebody said yes, they would be willing to do that. So I picked up the cards on the way there, and one of the trainees there decided to stay a little bit late, and they actually just did all 500 of the cards, so I had them.
Nice.
Immediately right there. So then I threw a bunch in my pocket, and I went in. So basically, I had to pay $30 yesterday to make up for my mistake, just to make sure I had at least one card to hand to Mike McMahon, in the hopes that he was going to, follow up and see him, because I know that the next big project he's working on. Remember the video game Golden Axe?
Yeah,
it was like a 4-player D&D type game. So apparently, there's going to be an animated series. A comedy animated series based on Golden Axe, and Mike McMahon is going to be show running that show.
Nice.
So, we assume that there's going to be more Lower Decks in some form in the future after the end of the 5th season, because the fans are kind of clamoring for it. I mean, the hashtag Save Lower Decks movement is still hoping that, we can, through the power of streaming, convince Paramount Plus to make another season or two, at least 2 seasons. But in any case, it's like, I posted a picture of them on stage saying, "Oh, it was so great," and blah blah blah, and I kind of tagged them. It's like, and I was talking with Kalani about it, because I don't want to be too much of "Senpai, please notice me." I don't want to be like constantly like trying to tag him in like every little thing on Facebook saying, "Hey Mike, did you watch the video? Hey Mike, did you watch the video?" Because that's just going to make me look like more of an unprofessional jackass, I think. So basically, I'm just sitting here crossing my fingers and hoping that at some point Mike McMahon goes to his Twitter and like actually remembers, like, "Oh yeah, that thing, I should see what that thing was." Because as far as I can tell, nobody else from the cast or crew or whatever has picked up on the fact that this song and video exists. All the Trekkies that have left comments about it on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else have like thoroughly loved it and thinks it rocks. So I'm happy that the target audience thinks it's cool. It's just, I particularly would love it if Mike McMahon could at least say that in fact, one of the things he mentioned at the Q&A is like, he said something like, "Seeing all of you show up in cosplay and all the things you do to show how much you love the show, like it means so much to all of us who make the show." And I'm just sitting there going like, "Look at my song! You appreciate these things! Look at my song so you can appreciate the thing!" So anyway, so that was that little adventure, and I will just wait and see what happens. I also have been making a new to-do list on the board behind me, full of my Post-it notes, so I can keep on top of things and get things done, both for myself and for other comedy music-related things. Like, I finally went in and updated the Logan Awards website to have in the archive page, for a long time, they didn't have the list of the jurors or the list of the full list of nominees. So I went in and I added both of those myself, and then I screwed something up because the jurors of 2016 thing started showing up in the main menu bar, and I said, "Ian, I fucked something up," and so Ian went and fixed it. So anyway, getting a lot of things done, working my dumb day job, hanging out with Kalani, going to premieres, and things like that. What have you been up to, Devo Spice?
Well, last Sunday we had the combined birthday party for two of my kids because, birthday's in October. Jeremy turns 17 on the 2nd and Darren turns 19 on the 29th. So we decided last year, the year before, that we should start doing combined birthdays because it's just too much on my parents to come twice in 1 month. So we did that on Sunday. And then Sunday night, I got an email from a production company about an acting role that I auditioned for like a month and a half ago and forgot about. And I didn't get that role, but they said, if you want this other one, you could have it. But you have to show up tomorrow morning to set. And I was like, okay. They described the role as a speaking extra. So I was like, okay, I'll probably have one line, maybe two. And, the rest of the time I'll just be in the background. It's fine. And nope, it was just a background role. No lines or anything. But it was, so I drove down to Jersey City on Monday morning. Had no idea what to expect. All I knew was where to go and what time to show up. That was it. So I just walked into this room with a bunch of other people who didn't know what was going on. And eventually, things started to come together. This was another one of those vertical series that's going to be on an app. And it was another Chinese production. If I'm doing more of these, I think I'm going to have to start learning Chinese. But so we did that scene, and I played supposedly this ex-CEO, this retired CEO, who was just part of this board of directors. And then we finished that scene, and then we moved to another room to do another scene where I was apparently working for a different company but I was the same guy. I don't really understand whether they're just reusing extras or if that's part of the story or whatever. So we did that scene. And then they were like, okay, we're going to do the second half of the filming in Manhattan. I was like, well, what are you expecting from us, And so then it was like going to Manhattan, paying to park and all this other stuff. And one of the other extras was like, yeah, I can't do that. I have to leave in like an hour. And I was like, yeah, me too. I'm sorry. So I just noped out of there. Like if it was a speaking role or I was being paid more than what I was getting, I might have done it, but I was like, no, it's not worth it. So, and I asked them, I'm like, this is all you need me for today, right? And they were like, yeah, sure. So Monday night, I get an email from the producer with the casting call for Tuesday, and I'm like, no, you told me you didn't need me for Tuesday. I'm like, I can't take 2 days off work, So I told them I wasn't going to be able to make it on Tuesday. So it was just a very disorganized production, but they seem to be having fun. That's all that matters. And
sounds like FuMPFest.
Yes, exactly. Exactly like FuMPFest. Except they're going to be making money on their production, I'm sure. So, and one of the reasons I didn't want to do it on Tuesday because I didn't know what time they were going to finish. And Tuesday night, we were recording the second episode of the new horror podcast, Random Acts of Horror. So we recorded that with special guests Julia Larson and Jeff Whitmire. Awesome episode. Can't wait for this stuff to start going out there. And I've been trying to get this podcast launched all week. And it's been a matter of, okay, I can't do that until I do this. I can't do that until I do this. I can't do that until I do this. And it's just trying to get everything in order that I need to do. I tried restoring the audio for my song Trick or Treatin' from my online backups, and they won't come down. Because I wanted to take the instrumental and use that as the music for the opening and closing. So I kind of hacked together something from the vocal mix and cut out the vocals, and it works, but I'd rather have, a different part of the song. So I have a support ticket open with CrashPlan going, why the hell isn't this file there? And they're looking into it. And, but I got the Patreon is set up. It's patreon.com/randomactsofhorror. I found out today that Patreon no longer allows you to do per episode payments, which is how I set up Manic Mondays, because I figure if I ever skip a week, I don't want people to get charged for that. So it has something to do with Patreon being an app in Apple's web store and Apple not allowing for that or something to that effect. So you can only charge.
Yeah, they're basically bowing to what Apple wants.
Yeah, so now I have to set it up for a per month subscription. So I just chose $4 a month, assuming I'm going to get 4 episodes out every month, which I may not, but I'm going to try. Or I could do like a per year subscription, I think. But part of the issue was, like, I'm setting this up through Libsyn, and on Libsyn's website it says one of the things you can do is have like a premium subscription, have people pay for stuff, do early access, ad-free stuff. And what I didn't realize until I really dug into it today was they were just advertising a third-party service like Patreon, but not Patreon. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just do Patreon, because I know how to use Patreon. So then I went back and I set up Patreon. So right now the Patreon is being reviewed by Patreon, which I forgot they do that. So once they pass the review, you'll be able to start giving me money. And what I'm doing for this podcast is the Patreon backers will get the show ad-free and 3 days early. And then it'll go up on Libsyn after it's been up for 3 days on Patreon. So, and I have the episode 0 teaser episode almost done. And once I can get that done, I can get that posted, and then things will start to fall into place. It's just, I've never had so much trouble launching a podcast. I don't understand what's going on here. Anyway, so Mike,
I'm looking forward to hearing the show.
Thank you. It's the first 2 episodes have been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of them. So, Mike, what have you been up to?
I have been working on some new stuff with Dead by 28. It's been pretty fun.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you were working with them.
Yeah. I don't remember what they contacted me about something, or I contacted them about something, and I was like, hey, if you guys ever want to collab, like, I think our styles would work well together. And they were like, oh, well, our guitar player is like not able to record right now, so we have all these songs that are just waiting for guitar. And I was like, I can help with that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff in the works.
I want to say I gave him your email address, but I can't remember for sure. I seem to remember them asking me something, and I pointed him to you and a couple other people as like, and Trevor Cochran was another one, as like people who can make music or something like that. So
nice.
Might have had something to do with it, but that's awesome that you're working with them. I love those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So Joe, what have you been up to that you can talk about, bastard?
Aside from my yob, I've been practicing, trying to learn piano, trying to learn French, just in case the election doesn't go the right way. And then obsessing about whether I should switch from a smart watch to a smart ring. This is not a real smart ring. This is the fake smart ring they send you to make sure the size is correct before you buy the real smart ring. And I'm obsessing about it so much, my wife was like, just buy it. Just buy the ring. Just buy it. Silver. Get a silver one. Don't get the black. So we'll see how that...
Does the ring replace the watch or work in tandem with the watch?
For me, it will be a replacement, because I like the watch, but I'm getting kind of, you get the notifications and you can read your emails on it. And you can, apparently play Galaxian. I don't know what else you can do on the watch. You can do all sorts of things on the watch. I want to slim back, because it's like, well, I have a phone for all that stuff. And the ring will track your heart rate and your steps and your sleep apnea, and it does your temperature and a bunch of other things. And the battery life is insane. It's like 10 to 12 days on one charge. And then it comes with a case that you can recharge it in that has a battery in it that'll give you another 150 days. So basically, you don't have to plug it in for half a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool. And my watch is, this is a Fitbit, so it's like 4 days, 5 days. And if it's an Apple Watch or even Google's Pixel Watch, they're still 1 day.
Yeah.
And I would leave it in the charger most days because I'd forget about it. So
That's cool. I was gonna say, because I haven't pictured the Ring like replacing a watch yet, but I guess if you don't want all the notifications and stuff, then yeah.
I was thinking about getting a tiny ring that has the watch on it so that I can have the watch, but then that's just stupid.
Like a little tiny screen you got to look at on your.
It blinks at me in Morse code so I can read the time.
Give them about 10 years, they'll have like a heads-up display where you go like this, and it's just like, like Princess Leia will pop up in front of you as a hologram, and
these are not the emails you're looking for.
right. Yeah.
So that's my current obsession. I'm kind of taking a break from comedy music and trying to focus more on music, so I understand how to make a song from scratch, and then maybe my next comedy one will be like a from scratch composed kind of thing.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good. So speaking of music, you posted a song.
I did.
Give us a quick intro to this one, and we will give it a listen.
It happened randomly when, for some reason, I had seen part of Silence of the Lambs, and I heard a Beatles album, and I watched a Monty Python skit about an undertaker.
All right, here is Hannibal Lecter by Joe J. Thomas.
Look at all the tasty people. Look at all the tasty people. Hannibal Lecter, he's eating liver, Chianti, some nice fava beans. This is his dream, out in his locker. He's got a face that he keeps in a jar by the door. One that he wore, all the tasty people. He hunts them just for fun. All the tasty people, he'll eat them one by one. She's Clarice Starling, Hannibal wants her to come and discuss all her fears. Don't go too near, none of it's working. Buffalo Bill has the senator's daughter somewhere. A lamb in his lair, all the tasty people. He hunts them just for fun. All the tasty people, he'll eat them one by one. Look at all the tasty people. Look at all the tasty people. Hannibal Lecter escaped from his cell, and they're looking for someone to blame. Oh, what a shame, there's Agent Starling. She thought she knew just exactly the thing he would crave. He's so depraved, all the tasty people. All the tasty he hunts them just for fun. All the tasty people, he'll eat them one by one.
Okay. Explain that again. How you came up with this? You were watching Silence of the Lambs, and what?
Yeah, I caught like a scene from Silence of the Lambs, and there was a Beatles record playing, and I'm like, wait, Eleanor Rigby, Hannibal Lecter, same number of syllables, and then there's a Monty Python sketch. I don't know if you know it. Guy comes into a mortuary. And he's like, yeah, I need your services, and my mother's passed away, and they're like, oh, how old is she? Oh, in her 50s, and the mortuary guy turns and goes, we've got an eater, and like they're gonna eat his mother, and he's like, what did you say? He says, oh, nothing, and so it gets worse and worse, and finally, so I'd written like a prior like a comedy sketch called Happy Hannibal's Family Restaurant. Where Hannibal runs a restaurant, and you can bring in your neighbors if you don't like them, and he'll won't cost you an arm and a leg. It's got a bunch of puns in it, so I'm like, I could do this. So I learned all the Beatles parts, and when I sang it, of course, I had to sing falsetto for the top end, and I went, ugh. Well, wait, it kind of sounds like I'm screaming, so that's probably good. So, yeah, so that's what came out of it.
I wanted to mention that the Monty Python sketch you were referring to. I heard a story about that when they filmed it for the TV show with the live studio audience. Like they have to, run their sketches by whoever the FCC's version of standards and practices was to just tell them what they would or wouldn't allow them to say or do on the air. And apparently, with that sketch, those people basically said, "Okay, we'll allow you to do the sketch." And like the last line of the sketch is like the guy's trying to convince the guy that they should eat his mother, blah blah blah. And at the very end, it's like after the guy. I think the last line of the sketch is the guy whose mother died saying, "Okay, but only if I can watch." And so the standards and practices person says like, "We allow you to do the sketch, but after that line is said, the entire studio audience has to get up as a mad mob and chase you out of the room." like that was their way of saying like, okay, if that happens, then we're safe somehow. Like with the general public knowing that we acknowledge how inappropriate this sketch is or something.
Yeah, I think that was the last line. Yeah, it's because he eventually wins him over, and it's like, okay. Oh my God! Yeah, it was so twisted. It stuck in my head, and here I am. So naturally, when I thought Eleanor Rigby, I'm thinking, hey, it's in a minor key. It's already kind of a depressing song. I watched like people reacting to it when they'd heard it for the first time. Some opera singer, and she's like, I didn't know it was going to go this dark. I mean, it's like Eleanor Rigby dies, she's buried, and nobody remembers her. Like, yeah, it's pretty dark for a Beatles song. So,
yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised nobody's done this before, because Hannibal Lecter scans perfectly to Eleanor Rigby, but also the face that she keeps in a jar by the door, like that's Hannibal. That's such a great connection to Hannibal Lecter. Like, I'm surprised nobody else has thought of this before.
Yeah.
I've gotten comments from friends. They're like, "Great, I can never listen to that song again."
Yeah, it's like
you ruined a Beatles song for me. Are you happy now?
Yeah, it's like a sign of a good comedy song, parody song, whatever, is like when another comedy song person hears it and they're like, "God damn it, it was right there! Why didn't I see that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I thought when this came up, I thought it was because Trump had been mentioning Hannibal Lecter a lot in his speeches over the past couple of months for whatever reason, and I thought maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah, no.
Referring to Hannibal as if Hannibal was a real person.
Right? Yeah.
And a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, although that may have lodged it in my head at some point, and, maybe in 3 months I'll come up with an Arnold Palmer song. Palmer's Putter.
Yeah, okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually had Eleanor Rigby or various versions of it stuck in my head for most of this year, just because sometimes when I play with my dogs, I'll just start singing something stupid to the tune of Eleanor Rigby, like "Cute Little Puppies," and I just pick them up and throw them around. And I don't remember anything that I come up with because it's different every time, but it's always something stupid, and it's always about dogs.
I will say it's thankfully short compared to my last one was 6+ minutes.
Yeah.
This is like 2 minutes basically, and I found a nice video that splits the harmonies up from the original Beatles, and I listened to it and I'm like, oh yeah, these are great. Look at how those harmonies fit together. And I'm just learning this shit. I'm playing the keyboard going, look, I can actually do inverted chords now. And oh my God, if I play this with my left hand while my right hand's doing this, it sounds completely different. Like this is all a revelation to me. I'm listening to Beatles going, yeah, this is kind of it's very simple, but it's very genius how it fits together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I remember Sea Monkey put in his project The Boobles. He has a parody called Eleanor Big Teats, and originally I was going to be the lead vocalist on that, and I recorded several takes on like a couple different occasions, for him, as well as improvising some other potential, wacky comedy stuff that he could use for like the sketch parts, so to speak, on the intros and outros or whatever. And just long story short is he never felt my vocals were like super perfect Beatles accurate enough for him, so I ended up being replaced by El Nage on the song.
Wah, wah.
It's like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
El Nage is much more attuned to Beatles than I am. I've never been. I don't have anything against the Beatles, but I'm not like a Beatle fanatic like so many others in our community are. And so he was definitely a better pick for that.
Yeah, like if I was doing a real like parody of this, I would have gotten somebody else to do the tenor piece, because I was fine with the baritone and the bass, but the tenor just it's falsetto and it sounds falsetto, and that's fine for this one. But
yeah.
Yeah.
My only other thing that pops to mind with Eleanor Rigby is the cover of it by Doodles Weaver from used to be with Spike Jones.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that until only a few years ago. I'm like, oh my God, where has this song been? This is great. I love this because I love all his other early Spike Jones stuff. So, yeah,
it's so just ridiculous. I mean, I listen to it. I'm like, oh my God, he's murdering this song, and it's funny.
He does such. I love Doodles Weaver. He's apparently like Sigourney Weaver's uncle or something like that. I think they're related.
Oh.
So go figure.
That'd be great. It'd be great to do like somehow a Doodles Weaver style recap of the movie Alien or something like that.
Oh yes. There you go.
The only thing that this song makes me think of is I sort of have, I mean not really, but I sort of have a slight grudge with the movie Silence of the Lambs, because that was the year that Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture, and I wanted Beauty and the Beast to win so bad because, animation. And also, Beauty and the Beast is a damn near perfect movie. Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, I could go on for all the reasons why. And because this was also back way before, there didn't always used to be a Best Animated Feature category. That didn't come along until like the early 2000s. I think like maybe Shrek was the first one, or Monsters, Inc. was one of the very first. Like, so yeah. So back then, animation getting even less respect than usual. So I was just like, come on, Beauty and the Beast. And then Silence of the Lambs once, and I'm like, fucking, Razafracken, et cetera, but I mean, I get it, I guess, but it's like, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But your song is awesome and hilarious, and again, the kind of thing where it's like, damn it, I should have thought of that.
Random brain.
All right, so do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Just the usual, joesdump.com. And
the rise of a new rebooting. I like that.
that's when I slacked off. I used to do like every week I'd do like a Monday post of something, and then I thought, this is crazy. Why am I driving myself nuts? I'm just going to do it whenever I want to. So they just called it a rebooting, and there's a So just Joe's Dump, and hopefully the next song may be like an original with me on keyboard or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm going to refer to every movie reboot as a rebooting from now on.
The rebooting.
All right. Let's do some news. Yeah.
This is the FuMP.
Sneeze on you. Seat 49. I don't think you understood.
I thought bagels always brought me joy, but now I play with them just like a doggy play toy. I made it with the bagel and cream cheese cause I was feeling hot. So hot. Ooh, hot.
belly, I kiss your nose. But every freaking night you freaking bite my freaking toes.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Crack a whip it. Fill up a balloon. Breathe in the gas. That's what I'm doing. Funny.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, just a couple quick updates on a couple of things. The archive.org DDoS attack it seems to be over. The site is back up, but it's in read-only format right now. Logins have been disabled, so I'm not yet able to post the last couple of weeks' worth of songs or shows. So as soon as they let me in, I will post the last couple of weeks of shows, and in the meantime, you can still get these shows over on YouTube and watch them there.
Well, good, because I used Archive to for when I posted Lower Decks Keep It Moving. I used it to post the images that I put on the entry, and I noticed at some point they went away, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I realized, oh yeah, archive.org is down. So, hooray, it's back up. Thank God.
Yeah. Tom Cardy's new album, The Dance Floor at the End of the Universe, is now available on all the platforms. He's on Bandcamp, Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify, and it has been added to the comedy music spreadsheet that I maintain. So go listen to that. Give him some love. That's what I was trying to say. And just a reminder, I have a Halloween comedy songs playlist on Spotify. If you have a Spotify account, you can pull that up. Just search for Halloween comedy songs, and you can find it. It's 2.5 hours of radio-friendly comedy songs about Halloween. And yesterday, Weird Al turned 65 years old. Happy birthday, Al.
Woohoo!
And
so he's at retirement age,
yes,
finally.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for news. Anybody got anything before tour dates? Guessing no. All right. Sundays online, Two Sleeps. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Mondays and Tuesdays online, Bill Larkin. On the 24th in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody, Kerplunk, and more. On the 25th online, Carla Ulbrich. On the 25th and 26th in Youngstown, Ohio, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 26th in Suffern, New York, Carla Ulbrich. The 27th in Portland, Oregon, Chris Waffle. On the 1st in Santa Rosa, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 1st in Bluebell, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. On the 2nd in Santa Cruz, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 5th in Mill Valley, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. All right, Mike, you're up.
I got a new song on the FuMP.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Woohoo!
Been a little bit, yeah.
So give us a
try
quick
to get
intro
one on
and-
every compilation, but I'm bad at getting things on time.
I did that for a ridiculously long time, and only just recently missed a couple of albums. So, but anyway, give us a quick intro, and we will give it a listen.
I am entirely confident that there is a non-zero number of people that will relate to this song. That's about all I can say about it.
All right, here is Squeegee by Two Sleeps.
I need a squeegee from Fiji. I need a harpoon from Kowloon. I need a Grover from Plover. And I need something from you. Let me punch your butt. Let me punch your butt. Let me
Okay, so my main question is, what?
So clearly you are not one of the people who relate to this song. Butt punching. You punch
punching.
butts.
Okay.
Yeah,
You lost me at Kowloon, but everything else I agree with.
Punch in your buns. Punch in your buns. Just like on Adventure Time. Punch in your buns.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this like a speed bag thing going on, or what?
Sometimes that is one method. There are a lot of methods,
Okay.
but all in good fun.
I'm picturing like fluffing a pillow with making it just like those same motions with somebody's butt.
So
that's more kneading, but that's another game.
There are euphemisms for punching a butt, then fluffing the pillow, pounding the dough.
Whole slang vocabulary around the community.
Yeah. See, I've never felt the need to punch a butt. But, I mean, I guess there's a first time for everything.
So I'm assuming you're not a butt guy then.
I'm not a butt guy, no.
Then you would get it. No, it's funny. It actually started, I wrote the verses before the choruses, and I had a completely different idea of the direction that I was going to go with this song. And then usually when I write lyrics, I'll just kind of listen to it a few times and sing random things along with it. And that just came out, and it felt so right that I was just like, you know what, that's what it's going to be. I think I'm still going to do the other idea, so I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was going to be something completely different. And then that just kind of rolled out of my mouth and was like, that's hilariously absurd. So that needs to stay.
Because the rest of the song is stuff from a place that rhymes with that. So like, I need some jerky from Albuquerque, I need Tabasco from Old El Paso, and then it's just let me punch your butt. And
I think that's why it fits so well, just because there's this setup and you're kind of developing an idea for what you think is coming next, and then it's like, wait, of all the things I thought might be coming next, that was definitely not one of them.
Yeah, I definitely laughed when I heard this song. Yeah, there's no question about that. But
I made the mistake of looking at the lyrics while it was playing, and I went, it's just a lovely non sequitur. I'll put it that way. It's a very funny non sequitur. I like it. Yeah.
So like, how did you write this? Like, when you were composing it, like, did you do this on guitar or piano or what?
This one I actually did on piano. I normally write on guitar, but lately I've been experimenting with some other stuff, and I was just messing around with the piano and came up with that little riff. And then the lyrics started coming with the original idea, and then
you got into butt punching.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a slippery slope.
Now I'm picturing you sitting at the piano going, "Let me punch your butt," and just it's working. Yeah.
I should have done it live on the show.
You should have. Yeah. We'll have to make this a music video and just have you at the piano just performing, with like some big sweeping shots of you performing, and yeah.
Totally.
Right.
On a beach for one of them.
Yeah. We'll have to get a piano on the beach. That's hard. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, I don't know what else to ask you about this song because it's butt punching. So what else is going on with you?
Not too much. Just been trying to get a lot of walking in while it's still nice out, and working on stuff with Dead by 28, working on some of my stuff, working on Jeff's direct-to-video album, and just busy all the time.
Well, you're in Texas. It's going to stay warm enough to keep walking for a while, right?
Well, I'm in Wisconsin, so it's already getting a little chilly.
Why did I think you were in Texas?
I don't know. I do have family in Texas, so...
Did you used to be?
I might have mentioned family there at some point.
Maybe. Huh. Okay. Yeah, Wisconsin's a bit colder than Texas. Just
Yeah.
a bit. Just
Maybe I
little.
just seem like a Texas person. I get that a lot.
Yeah, you've got such a southern drawl, you know.
That's right. Right. No,
But
actually, I don't think I'm too far from Luke's old neck of the woods.
Yeah, I grew up in Lake Geneva, and I lived in Madison for a while too. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I lived in Madison for a while too.
Do you know Art Paul Schlosser?
I have never met him personally, but I have seen him several times down on State Street and down by the Capitol.
Yeah, he was on last week's episode of the FuMPCast for his latest song. He's a wonderful guy. I mean, he's kind of in his own reality, but you know, he's nice, and I'm glad he's still out there, you know, making songs and putting out, you know, CDs. He's up to like, what did he say last week? Like 63 or something?
I think you said 57.
Yeah, something like that. That was
57?
insane.
Okay, yeah. And I intend to be the one and probably only person on the planet to have a complete set of the Art Paul Schlosser discography.
Ooh, future FuMPFest raffle, entire discography. Art Paul Schlosser discography.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't. I don't even think he has. I doubt he's kept archive copies of all of his own albums. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if he did, that would be an amazing FuMPFest raffle item. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Jeff Whitmire's new album that you're involved with. I can't wait to see what you come up with Dead by 28 because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. The stuff we've done already is really cool. A lot of it doesn't have lyrics yet, so I'm not sure how many songs, which songs will be on the FuMP, but I'm sure at least a couple of them will be. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they're cool. They have a very hard to define sound.
They do.
This has nothing to do with anything, but I have to mention it because it's right in front of me. I'm going through a bunch of old technology-related things, like old, you know, like here's the manual for my Zoom H2, etc. Like trying to find things that I can just throw out. I have found a GameStop power-up rewards card. I have no idea if it was ever activated, but here it says copyright 2010. So it's a 14-year-old. It's like, does this power-up rewards thing even exist anymore? Probably not, but I just think it's funny. Because I have, as I have said before, I do have, in fact, too much stuff. So, anyway.
You've done
sorry
songs
to interrupt
about
with
that.
something random.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be
All right.
cool if it accrued interest, like a bank or something, and you just go
Right?
in and they're like, "Oh, you have like $14,000 of video games you can
Yes.
buy."
I can finally upgrade to a PS5.
That would be awesome. That'll never happen.
Nope.
All right.
I have the instructions for my 3DS, and I know that currently my former roommate Erica has my 3DS because she was using it with her 3DS to like do trades back and forth on that version of Animal Crossing. So she's just been holding on to my 3DS for literally years.
We still have I should still have the boxes like somewhere in that collection behind me for ours. I'll have to look. So the instructions should be in the boxes. So I should have a copy of that as well. All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/2sleepsmusic, and I'm pretty close to reaching all the goals for affiliate, so give me a follow, and you can help me make it happen.
All right. All right, let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback. Hamner hack. Handerhack wrote, "Thank you, Art Paul, for my new morning alarm sound." And that's all the feedback we got.
Was that a new Hamner hack?
No, same one.
Same one, huh?
Yeah.
It sounded different this time for some reason. Maybe my speakers are fuzzing out on me, and I'm not getting the full stereo effect.
Maybe. I do have original sound for musicians on, so you should have heard the whole thing. Hamner hack.
Oh, there. Okay, yeah. When I was, it's like the bass had disappeared, and when I hit the thing, all of a sudden I heard it coming out of.
Okay. Loose
I need,
connection
but
or
the point
something.
is, I need to get new computer speakers because they've been sucking for years. So anyway, thank you, Hamner hack.
All right, let's do some teasing.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Steve Goody. And we're going to have a Sunday bonus song by Burble's Belly, which we wanted to get in before Halloween. And
Tuesday song is not yet posted.
actually, you know what? Let me check. It might be. Because he said he was going to get it up today. So let me check.
You thought he was going to get it up.
Get it up. Nope, not posted yet. All right. Joe had to leave, but Joe J. Thomas is at joesdump.com. Mike, plug yourself one more time.
Twitch.tv/2sleepsmusic.
All right.
And I'm going to plug the fact that the first 2 episodes of Season 5 of Lower Decks are on Paramount Plus. Watch them and then watch them again because they're awesome. And we need to send the message to the people of Paramount that we want more Lower Decks. Lower Decks, Lower Decks, Lower Decks, etc.
Thank you. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and it is the Two Sleepses.
Heyo!
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I need the USS Cerritos for my bunghole.